I'm just going for it. Good afternoon and welcome to the Media Speaks Live special end of the year, December 31st, 2014 special edition, a year in review. We're going to get into all the top headline news stories of 2014, a year in review with DLAKE for PREZ, themediaspeaks.com. Man, this is heavy. It's going to get really heavy. I went to Google and I typed in on the Google machine top stories of 2014. And one of the first links that came up was from NBC News and their top stories. I kind of like the graphics on this, so let's take a look. On my screen share, 2014 year in review, according to NBC News. Storyline, the stories, newsmakers, videos, and images that defined 2014. Year in review, the top stories of 2014. According to Miranda at NBC News. Number one, Ebola outbreak. The Ebola outbreak in West Africa started quietly but soon spread across the porous borders of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone to become a full-blown epidemic. Then we just said, hey, we're America. Come to America where you'll survive. And here are 6 U.S. Ebola survivors. Oh, a black woman, an Asian woman, an old white woman with glasses, a white guy with a beard, some other white guys. This guy, possibly Middle Eastern. I don't know. Who knows? Is there any Jews on the panel? I mean, what a brilliant collection of, and then pictured in the background, a loving doctor, a white guy. Number 2, Malaysia airline disasters. Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with Malaysia? Malaysia's national carrier suffered a second major loss, and then a third, and then number 3, the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner. Enough is enough. Protest erupted nationwide after a grand jury decided in late November not to indict white police officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of unarmed teen Mike Brown, 18, who, I mean, look, Miranda's only got a paragraph. She's going to do the best she can. Point out that the police officer was white and the unarmed teen, Mike Brown. Oh, she didn't say African American. Well, good job, Miranda. Weeks later, the protest ballooned following a second grand jury decision, this time in New York City. Completely different case, totally separate case. The way that they got merged together, I did not like or appreciate because look, I mean, if I had my choice of who to hang out with in life earlier in the year, it would have been Eric Garner a million times, 20 times more than I would ever hang out with Mike Brown. I could see myself hanging out with Eric Garner, rolling around Staten Island, you know, hitting up Method Man and Ghostface Killah of the Wu-Tang Clan and all that, and just hanging out and smoking his Lucy cigarettes. I saw when they pulled the packs out of his pocket. There was like a pack of Parliaments. It was like one pack. I'm sure he was really bringing home the bacon. And even his family, Garner's family, said that they weren't buying into the race narrative that the mainstream media pushed, and NBC, I'm sure, was a part of that. They say number 4, the rise of ISIS. Let me get through what NBC says quickly. Number 5, U.S.-Cuba thaw. Okay, that's pretty recent. We covered that. Conflict in Ukraine, and we'll get to the Media Speaks and what the Media Speaks said because we covered all this. Robin Williams suicide. Oh, did he hang himself? Was he getting off on erotic asphyxiation? I'd like to point out that the official report said that he had no drugs in his system. They said no illegal drugs in his system. He had all kinds of prescription depression drugs and anxiety drugs in his system in early stages of Parkinson's. He doesn't want to be old man Michael J. Fox. Number 8, domestic violence in the NFL. Oh, well, yeah, that was a big story. Guys getting drunk and hitting their wives, and Beyonce's sister hitting Jay-Z. He's not in the NFL, but he acts like he is. Number 9, space history, landing on the surface of a comet. That was amazing. The European Space Agency's Rosetta mission achieved something no one had ever done, sending a lander onto the surface of a comet's nucleus. And we talked about this on the show. They had this planned 10 years in advance. It's really exciting and amazing. Unfortunately, the scientists wore a shirt that some considered to be offensive to radical feminists and people that don't like pinup girls. I don't know who the hell they are, but they probably wear burqas and get raped by Bill Cosby, which was the number 10 story, Bill Cosby rape allegations. And just as any big story in Hollywood, it'll be allegations and he'll be tried in the court of public opinion. But will we ever see any law, justice, order? I mean, the number 1 story should be all criminals arrested and all peaceful people living in peace. You know what I mean? CNN's 2014 year in review, fast facts. So let's do it fast. Colorado legalizes the purchase of marijuana. The 2010 Patent Protection and Affordable Care Act goes into effect. Oh, great. The Senate votes to confirm Janet Yellen as the first woman to head the Federal Reserve. Oh, this is all great news. Wow. Chemicals begin leaking from a tank owned by Freedom Industries into the Elk River. Great. In West Virginia. Wonderful. Oh, my sister's birthday. Ohio executes inmate Dennis McGuire. There you go, sis. With a new combination of drugs due to the unavailability of drugs such as pentobarbital. The state used a combination of the drug midazolam, a sedative, and the painkiller hydromorphine, according to the state corrections department. According to witness Alan Johnson of the Columbus Dispatch, the whole execution process took 24 minutes, and McGuire appeared to be gasping for air for 10 to 13 minutes. Okay, not a great way to die. Wonderful. Happy birthday. The next day, President Obama announced changes to the National Security Agency and its surveillance programs. I'm sure he did that through fiat executive order and memoranda. January 30th, CNN reports at least 19 veterans have died due to delays in simple medical screenings like colonoscopies or endoscopies at various VA hospitals. Okay, so the VA is killing everybody. General Motors recalls 780,000 vehicles. Oh, thanks to their faulty ignition switches, and the Volts didn't sell well, and a mudslide near Oso, Washington killed 43, and Army specialist Ivan Lopez, and the NBA banned Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling, not Donald Sutherland, which I said earlier in the year, probably around April 29th. May 19th, same-sex marriage became legal in Oregon. Same-sex marriage became legal in Pennsylvania the following day. 3 days later, Elliot Rodger goes on a killing spree near the campus of UC Santa Barbara. Okay, Elliot Rodger goes on a killing spree. There we go. There's a good place to start. Since I heard that news that morning, we were like the first YouTube video to cover it. And let me see if I can't. There's Donald Sterling news, the Media Speaks video. If you're on my video screen, I'm scrolling through the MediaSpeaks.com videos because this is a Media Speaks year in review coverage episode. I'm your host for today's show, DLAKE for PREZ. I was contacting the guys earlier to see if they wanted to be on the show. Maybe I should send them a link. Court, if he could get in here. Kyle Phillips, if he could get in here, or Sam Ganji. My brethren, my peers, my brothers, and my fellow reporters on the MediaSpeaks.com. We had a ban on our channel 5 months ago. And I've been picking up episodes and doing Welcome to the War episodes and MediaSpeaks.com episodes and filming our Saturday show on this channel on DavidLake.com. And I could point out that if you just go to David Lake on YouTube, maybe it's because it's me looking it up, but there's my there's my link on YouTube. If you put in David Lake on YouTube, right near there at the top with the Captain America shield, which is the best way that you can find me and all my new and awesome, amazing videos, such as this one and the year in review. I want to get to this funny thing about Fox News and their year in review, but first let me go back to the Media Speaks videos because I'm scrolling. Okay, Santa Barbara shooter Elliot Roger, Russia, China exclude U.S. dollar, new Walmart trucks. 7 months ago, we put out the report. It had 31,052 views. 31,000 views. So that was our top ranking. Yeah, that was our top ranking video of the year. Just because we were so on top of the news. We were so on top of the news, in fact, that like we were deciphering it like the very next morning, like right after it happened, watching his video that was put out on YouTube, you know. Sam like couldn't believe it. The next day, I remember this back in April, and Sam was like, "Oh man, I feel really bad because I didn't believe this to be true." And, you know, it sort of came out that it really happened. There was a lot of weird anti-Second Amendment, gun-grabbing legislation and anti-gun protesting going on right after that incident. You know, the funny thing was the guy killed more people with a knife in his car than he did with a gun. But when I played that video, and a whole bunch of people saw that video of Elliot Rogers' sort of manifesto about, you know, how all women should love him because he's the supreme gentleman. And some people didn't really like the Media Speaks making fun of that guy or thinking that serial killing and mass murder was funny, but there was elements of it that were kind of comedic. Oh, it wasn't long after that. Bo Bergdahl, deserter? Question mark. Remember that story? Wasn't on NBC's top 10. Bo Bergdahl, Taliban prisoner swap. Scrolling through a year in review 6 months ago, DLAKE said Bo Bergdahl has fake parents. Suggested his parents might be fake. Okay, well, the November elections are over. December is pretty much past. It's almost 2015. Where's that Bo Bergdahl report? Huh? Are we going to try that son of a bitch for deserting America? To go live with the Taliban and live all fancy and eat bowls of rice and a goat? Wear a kufi and a specially designed ISIS outfit? Well, that was just prior to ISIS, DLAKE. I mean, it was like Bo Bergdahl, ISIS, Ebola, the elections, dying Iraq war vets, fuck you letter to George Bush and Dick Cheney. Got a lot of views. Trey Gowdy came on the scene big this year. So did Kevin Costner and Shia LaBeouf, but that's entertainment news. AJ Twynham came on big this year. Then he moved, and we haven't heard much from him lately. Police kill Staten Island man. Eric Garner. DLAKE for PREZ and AJ. We were right on top of that story. 5 months ago, right when it happened. Watching the video, reviewing it. Don from Save America's Liberty there. Now the political terrorist. He was there. He was on that show. DLAKE's epic isolation rant. Still believe we should isolate. Oh, the U.S. border. All the immigrants. Again, another story that didn't make NBC's top year review. Continuing on CNN. May 31st, President Obama announces release of prisoner of war Bo Bergdahl, held for 5 years by a militant group linked to the Taliban. In exchange for Bergdahl's release, 5 detainees at Guantanamo Bay were released to Qatar. Where are they now? What are they doing? Who cares? Same-sex marriage becomes legal in Illinois. The city council in Seattle, Washington votes to raise the city's minimum wage to $15 an hour. Did that happen? President Obama on June 30th says he is starting a new effort to fix as much of our immigration system as he can on his own without Congress. Great. So right around the very middle of the year there, in the year in review, was President Barack Obama's initiation of his tyrannical rule. Right around Christmas time, he's going to come out of the Sony hack just looking like a much nicer person and a much better guy than tyrannical dictator Kim Jong-un. And today's top story, in my opinion, is that the Norse group and cyber security experts came out and said all the finger pointing and all the fingerprints of North Korea is some garbage. And they have debunked it. And they've also said that their investigation points to about 10 to 12 people inside the Sony Corporation by cross-referencing the actual hacks to the Human Resources Department, who had the knowledge, who had the availability, who had the means, who had the motive, who had the resources. North Korea? Okay. This is a point that I really wanted to make tonight. The hack of Sony had to start months ago, okay, in order to quantitatively download all the terabytes of information. It had to start a while ago. The first information released was meat on the hook of celebrity gossip. Then the White House got involved and it changed to the North Korea narrative. When we say it's North Korea. The Norse group comes out, debunks that it's North Korea, points to an inside job, which was the FBI's original thoughts and opinions on it. But now, since Obama already flexed the North Korean narrative, and since the movie already came out without 9/11 style incidents in any theaters, it came out in select theaters and it came out video on demand. It was downloaded illegally almost over 800,000 times. But it's made over $15 million. It's got 50% or less on Rotten Tomatoes. It was all part of a big master plan to get CISPA passed through, in my opinion. But when the Norse group, the cybersecurity experts, give all their information and all their investigation and all their conclusive data, I guess in their opinion, to the FBI says, great, thank you, marvelous, wonderful, but you know what? We're going to stick with the North Korean narrative. We're going to stick with that angle. We're going to go with North Korea. We're just going to keep blaming Kim Jong-un, the 30-year-old hereditary dictator of North Korea, whose father, Kim Jong-il, died and passed down his dictatorial powers to his son. What about that story earlier this year where Kim Jong-un fed his uncle to starving dogs? Did that make the top stories of the year? No, it didn't. The Sony hack, it must have just came too close to the end of the year. You know what? It came surprisingly close to fucking Christmas, which was a great plan as well. Oh, when all the families are together and we're all talking about this, and what's the topic of the discussion at the dinner table going to be? It's going to be, oh, did North Korea hack Sony? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you see the interview? Did you like it? Did you think it was really funny? Did you pay $5.99 and go on a... Continuing my year in review. You won't believe 5 craziest crime stories of 2014. Smile pretty for your police portrait. Bank robbery suspect makes the most of his mugshot. Oh, that guy looks like a complete idiot. Let's go take a look at that on screen share if you're joining me on visual. If you're just joining me on audio, I'll try to describe this guy for you. He looks like a big doofus missing a bunch of teeth and smiling like a complete dork. You're never fully dressed without a smile, even if you're in jail garb. At least that seemed to be 45-year-old Michael Whittington's philosophy after he got his pic taken for posterity by police after they say he robbed a Denver bank. Online fails. Woman arrested thanks to unflattering Facebook pic. Great. Wedding's gone wrong. Groom hits on pregnant server. Brawls ensue. Yeah, I remember that. It just happened in September. Putting the duh in DUI. Driver mistook jail for someplace else. Oh, yeah. A Michigan woman didn't have far to go after her arrest on drunk driving charges. Officers say the 39-year-old was in the Van Buren County Jail's parking lot when her BAC clocked in at more blood alcohol content clocked in at more than twice the legal limit. So that was probably 0.16 because she mistook the building for a much, much different locale. Oh, I guess we got to click on it for her for you to get the whole story that she went to the jail thinking it was a bar. Noise violation, man jailed over loud sex. Well, congratulations to that guy. 2014 year in review. The year according to Fox News, according to the independent.co.uk. I'm on the independent.co UK where they have an article called 2014 in review, the year according to Fox News. So this is going to be Adam Withnall of independent.co.uk over there in the United Kingdom dissing America's Fox News. The way news is covered by Fox in the United States can seem incomprehensible to the rest of the world, not to mention many Americans. Well, I don't know. They do put out some good stuff there, independent.co.uk, and so do you. But why do you guys have to be at each other's throats? Oh, because we need to say that penis pictures are news. So I'm at the independent.co.uk, Adam, and my news is going to be that penis pictures are news. Oh, according to Fox News. Yeah. I'm sure if I go to Fox News right now, penis pictures aren't there in their top news of 2014. Thanks, Independent. Pulling photos straight from Twitter moments before going on air was a nightmare waiting to happen for any network as Fox-affiliated KDVR found in spectacular fashion when a penis was spliced into coverage of the Seattle helicopter crash. Oh, my God. Homosexual impulses lead to serial killings. I guess that's how they described the Roger Elliott case. Single ladies rely on government Single ladies rely on government like a husband. Beyonce now has a whole radio station dedicated to her. Okay. It's okay to use racial slurs about China and especially North Korea. Those fucking, they call Barack Obama a monkey. They're fucking mongoloids. Michelle Obama needs to drop a few pounds. Oh, okay. Turn up for what? Breaking news from civil rights riots isn't that important. Megyn Kelly interrupted her broadcast for something else. She lashed out on air when her interview in the aftermath of the death of, Chewbacca. That was a big sneeze. Thanks, Megyn Kelly. I think I might be allergic to you. Russell Brand. Women in the armed forces are boobs on the ground. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. So this is the independent.uk dissing on stupid Fox News stories. Sexism awareness videos should themselves be treated with sexism. Oh, the best was the Star Wars satire of this chick that walked around New York. She had a couple microphones in her hand and a video camera in front of her, probably covertly on a backpack, with a bunch of dudes saying, hey, nice body, nice hair, beautiful eyes, nice ass. Look at that. Looking good in them jeans. Like the way you look. Like the way you walk. You smell pretty good. You know? Sorry for voicing my opinion. She got 100 cat calls. Well, let me add 101. Damn, baby. You're a piece of woman. You know what? I think I played it on an earlier show. Look, just go to themediaspeaks.com. Everything that I'm talking about, plus more, way more. Interview highlights with DeConte Sawyer, widow of the first man to die in America from Ebola, or first American to die of Ebola. He actually died over there in Africa. They didn't let him on the plane. There was a whole big thing about letting people on the plane. After the November 4th election, I did a special report all about how, right after the election, everything we heard about Ebola and everything that we were hearing about ISIS sort of just vanished and disappeared. Josh Tolley on his radio show said right after Christmas we'll see more Ebola news. And from my research, that's what we've seen. Okay. All righty. Okay. Malyun H responded no to watching today's show. So thanks, Malyun, for not watching. I don't want you here. I'm glad you're not watching. Don't watch. If you're thinking about clicking to watch, do not. Watch it in rebroadcast. Watch it next year. Watch it at the end of next year, the end of this year. All the stuff that happened. Please leave your comments down below. What do you think were the top stories? I mean, certainly Ebola was big news. We had a super ton of hits. I think maybe our second highest viewed video was Kyle and I talking about who is ISIS? What is this ISIS? ISIS came out of nowhere. Do you think we could have bombed them and destroyed them and just cut them off at the pass when they were rolling in giant convoys of Toyota trucks with American names and license plates and Rambo fucking 50 cal on the back and all that other stuff? And like, I'm glad we have to take away guns from Americans and do all these Second Amendment false flags hoaxes to strip Americans of their weapons. Well, I mean, every picture of ISIS, every MFer over there is going to have an AK-47, a ninja mask. Are any of these news stations talking about the beheadings? That was a pretty big story. All those fake beheadings on YouTube, thanks to ISIS. What about we are all slaves to a central bank? Is that making the news? Well, Agenda 21, is that making the news? Total disregard for posse comitatus and the Department of Justice funding rap groups to say kill cops and black people should kill cops. I mean, is the black population abortion rate making the news? Is the no? I mean, well, DLAKE, we have to pump up a race war. In today's top news, Al Sharpton. Even black people go on the news and say, fuck Al Sharpton. Can't use that kind of language on their shows, but I can. Fuck Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton, come over to my house right now. No, I'm sorry, you can't. You're not invited. No, I will invite you to come over, knock on my door. I'll open the door. You'll say, I made it all the way here, and I'll be like, fuck you, Al Sharpton. I invited you here just to tell you that. Because you obviously don't watch my show. And I don't watch yours. But I watch some of your clips and highlights, and I see what you've been up to, and I don't like it. And I disapprove. And I was really happy and laughing really hard when Roy Ennis pushed you over in that chair on the Morton Downey Jr. show all those years ago. And if you don't like me chain smoking, fuck you. If you don't like me owning a gun, fuck you. If you don't like me illegally downloading the interview and watching that movie, well then, you know, fuck you. Okay? Fucking Al Sharpton. Nigga can't even read. I said it. Oh, DLAKE, you're white. You can't say that. Fuck it. Fuck you, Al Sharpton. He's like, oh, DLAKE, I've been called worse than that. I'm sure you have, pal. Edward Snowden. That was more 2013 news, wasn't it? Then we got a channel ban, and Sam's been holding down the channel really well. Thank you for watching on this channel. Oh, the 72 Virgin Dating Service. Because the Kurdistans, if they believe that killed by a woman, ISIS won't go to heaven and get their 72 virgins. That was a pretty good story of the year. I wanted to describe how well we covered like all the top stories of the year. And we really did. We always have science news. Oh, Geraldo versus Drudge. Okay, I don't think we're going to hear much from Geraldo or Rush Limbaugh in 2015. What about when the Obama White House wines and dines all those African dictators? Did any of them have Ebola? Well, talked about David Hahn. Was he a meth head or a radioactive Boy Scout? We talked about why Mexicans are flooding to the U.S. Christian deaths. Sam's always talking about nuclear energy. U.S. immigration. Sergeant Tamarisi, who spent over 150 days in a Mexican prison. But we'll just release Bo Bergdahl, possibly a traitor. Shia LaBeouf says he was raped. And earlier in the year, he asked, do you know who the fuck I am? Only Shia LaBeouf, okay? Better give him some respect. I love those purple stockings, Shia. Keep up that look, pal. ISIS, over 5,000 views. The Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Or no. That was my video. And then I was joined by Kyle the next night. What is ISIS? Wiki view history. Over 10,000 views. That was a good one. Again, I'm seeing Trey Gowdy and just kind of like looking at thumbnail pictures. What a great year in review. Oh, I interviewed E.T. Williams, the Doctor of Common Sense. That was a great show. I mean, yeah, I was talking to my friend on the phone, and he's like, so you're going to do a year in review show? I'm like, yeah, I probably will. I'm like, I got to get ready for it. I mean, what should I do? Should I go back and watch a whole year's worth of shows? Nah, I can just breeze through the highlights. But you should watch some of our better ones. I mean, go to our YouTube channel at themediaspeaks.com, DOTCOM, and then look up our most popular videos, okay? That'll give you an insight into what were the best shows of the year, right? The best shows that we did. Oh, my God. Whoa. Yeah. Happy. Oh, yeah. I better slow it down before we get channel banned. Whatever. I'm DLAKE for PREZ. Let me go to my screen share. There it is, the Beatles. She's So Heavy. Am I off mute? Yes. Continuing down the CNN in August, African-American teen Michael Brown, 18, is shot and killed by white police officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri. You remember all the crazy stuff that happened after that. Same-sex marriage becomes illegal in Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, Wisconsin. Same-sex marriage becomes legal in Colorado and Indiana. Thomas Eric Duncan dies. Thanks, CNN. A bunch of gay people are legally allowed to get married, and a bunch of black people die at the hands of the cops. What a great fucking year. And Ebola patients fucking were treated with the blood of other Ebola patients, and they all had the bright color green, and it was great and fantastic. And Mexicans and I don't know. I love Mexican food, though. I remember earlier in the year when they were talking about alternative media was discussing colleges banning taco parties or fiestas because that could be deemed as racist. Let's just get all this politically correct crap out of the fucking way, okay? Go to Sedona, Arizona, like I was saying the other day. There's not going to be a race war there. The only place that there could possibly be a race war is in 5 select major cities in the United States. Maybe 10. That's stretching it. Okay? Everywhere else, it's not going to happen. Black unemployment, double under Obama. Black people on food stamps, everybody on food stamps. The food stamp president, Barack Obama. Black abortions, double under Obama. Your first black president is no help to black people. And that's a white person telling you that. So, happy fucking New Year. You're just going to have to live with it. Huh? Al Sharpton? Still want to come over? You want a race war? We can have one at my house. Okay? We'll have a wrestling match over a chicken bone. Piece of fried chicken. And you can have that if you vote Democrat, but too bad the Democrats lost big this year in 2014. So that's in the year review as well. I'm DLAKE for PREZ. Everybody have a marvelous, spectacular, wonderful, amazing, awesome. I'm really starting to feel the power and energy. My 7-year cycle is going to refresh this year. 2015 is going to be a great fucking year. Really looking forward to it. Pretty sure the Media Speaks will get picked up by some giant company and we'll all make millions of dollars. So, I think it's going to be great. Sounds good to me. DLAKE PREZ, themediaspeaks.com.